What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode here of the Side Guys Football Forum. I'm one of your co-hosts on the side, joined as always by my good friend, my good buddy, the other half of the Side Guys, Mr. Tad the Side. And Tad, we are here upon Super Bowl weekend, which honestly, Tad, got sort of flying under the radar because of how crazy the NBA trade deadline was.
Hey, like, no, it's great. We got nothing for Jimmy Butler. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great couple of days. I hate you. And how dare you wear that sweatshirt on the show? But anyway, carry on.
It was so crazy because the Lakers played last Saturday, right? And I was texting a good friend of mine who's a huge Lakers fan. And after the game was over, he texted me. He's like, "Bro, Luka," and I was like, "Yeah, what's going on with Luka?" I was like, I was at a family dinner, so I was like, I wasn't at the computer or like on my phone regularly. He's like, "He got traded to the Lakers." I was like, "No way, you are joking me. This is like that, you know, the ball sack sports." The NBA said,
well, and to fast forward on your story a bit, you texted me, and I thought that's exactly what was happening. I'm like, he's trying to get me. Also, NBA, can you pick a normal time to do your business? Because I have not. This gave me PTSD. I think I've shared this story on the podcast before, but I was working for a sports company when Kawhi originally signed with the Clippers. He signed, and I'm not even exaggerating here. He signed at like 2 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
No, and I was the only employee awake because I was out at the bars.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, with the Luka trade to Los Angeles, they're trying to keep it like very under wraps, and they just sort of want to get something done really quickly. So that's why it happened when it did. But yeah, that shook the NBA because then we got De'Aaron Fox going from the Sacramento Kings to the San Antonio Spurs to pair up with Victor Wembanyama. We got, you know, unfortunately, Jimmy Butler is no longer a member of the Miami Heat. He's now a member of my Golden State Warriors.
I'm sure you're real torn up about that, bastard. Fuck you, Jimmy.
Anthony Davis, obviously in the return trade with that Luka trade, he is now a member of the, you know, your quote unquote other team, the Dallas Mavericks.
That's what I'm saying. It's like my top two teams absolutely botched the trade deadline. It's like shit.
So, yeah, I mean, it's sort of, like I said, overshadowed everything that was going on with Super Bowl week. It's like I was not following anything that was happening with the Super Bowl this entire week. I mean, I know a lot of people are not all excited about this matchup anyways. They don't want the Chiefs to get the three-peat. A lot of people are not happy with the Eagles overall, you know, their fans and all that stuff, right? So it's like, but yeah, this just like I said, just blew it out of the water. It's like nobody was really talking about the Super Bowl the entire week. It was wild.
I mean, only thing I learned this week is that Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen are engaged. I knew they were dating. Did not know they were engaged. Josh Allen.
Yeah, they actually got engaged. I think right before the playoffs started, if I remember correctly. It might have been during the playoffs or something like that. But just pretty recent.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of that episode of Arrested Development when they're like, "Yeah, we got married when we were 18." He's like, "Yeah, I don't blame you. You gotta lock that down. Her down."
Yeah. So I mean, guys, I think
with all the Haley Steinfeld. God damn, Josh Allen. And MVP now. Salute.
He did.
That is Captain America right there.
But yeah, I mean, like I sort of talked about, we are at Super Bowl week. We just had a crazy NBA trade deadline. So I mean, guys, this is the perfect time to like, you know, adjust your bets and just like everything that's going on and get involved with our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. So, I mean, you can make some bets on, you know, what do you think the Lakers are going to do now as far as like, you know, how their performance is going to go the rest of the season. You can make some bets, obviously, on Anthony Davis and the Mavericks now, just how that's going to affect things. Obviously, you got the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, the nice thing with Underdog Fantasy is that normally when you're betting with some of these players on Underdog Fantasy, you get your standard bets of like, you know, this player's going to have X amount of, you know, yards over, under. This player's going to have, you know, rushing or receiving touchdown, you know, over, under, whatever it's like. But with the Super Bowl, Tad, they go very in depth. You got a lot more bets you can make. You can bet on things like, you know, is this player going to have the most receiving yards for their team? Is this player going to have the most receptions in the game overall? Is this person going to score the first touchdown? And like, depending on how crazy the odds are, you get that much more of a multiplier. So it's like, yeah, the first touchdown score. It's like if you scored the second quarter versus the first quarter, it's like you got all those bets on Underdog. So it's like they're going very in depth with the Super Bowl. So if you want to get super granular, super finite with your betting when it comes to Super Bowl, Underdog Fantasy has got you covered. And yeah, as mentioned, you know, we're coming up with the All-Star break for the NBA weekend, but you can still bet on that. MLB season's right around the corner. After the Super Bowl, I really flash forward to MLB season. That's going to be happening about in a month and a half. You got the NHL season still going on. You got tennis, you got boxing, you got MMA. They got you covered across all fronts, guys. So get to the action with our promo code. That promo code is DESAI. DESAI. You could double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500, courtesy of our good friends Underdog Fantasy. Guys, the website, very easy to use, very user-friendly there, as well as the apps, both on Apple and Android devices, guys. So once again, that promo code is DESAI, DESAI. Double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500. And Tad, I think that naturally can transition into what we're talking about in today's episode. It is all Super Bowl. We're talking about Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get into sort of our predictions and our preview of the game towards the end of the episode. But yeah, I'm partnering with our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. We want to talk about some game bets and, of course, your specialty, some of those fun prop bets. We'll get to that a little bit here, Tad. But yeah, let's definitely start with some game bets. So, okay. How hard do you go with some game bets when it comes to Super Bowl specifically?
That's a good question. I usually like going 50-50, like as many fun ones as I place than game one, because I'm more knowledgeable. Well, the game one, your knowledge is more valuable. Is a better way to put that, is because I know a lot of stupid bets, as I'm soon about to prove.
I will say, power to you, my friend. You do a lot of good research when it comes to the prop bets.
Just you wait until bet number 3 tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like that at least like offsets my bet. Like if I get unlucky with, like the coin flip or something, then at least I can offset it with, AJ Brown. No shit. He got over, 2 catches for the game or something, which, by the way, I have a very easy bet like that at the very end of the episode for you. Like that easy where you really like that. That's it.
That's a shoo-in. All right. I like it. We'll have to wait to pay off that tease for sure. But yeah, Tad, I got a couple of game bets here. I'd love to hear your thoughts of them as we sort of go through all of them. First bet I want to start with here is Kareem Hunt over a half rushing or receiving touchdown. So Hunt has played in 6 career playoff games, Ted, and he has scored 7 touchdowns in all of those 6 playoff games. If you go back to the regular season as well, Hunt has scored a touchdown in 4 straight games now, which includes the postseason. Prior to fracturing his fibula, Isaiah Pacheco has only scored 1 touchdown in the entire season. That came all the way back in week 1. But since then, obviously, he had the injury, and then ever since then, he's been sort of bouncing back. But he's been more getting the yards, not so much as finding the end zone. Like I said, he's only been scored 1 touchdown in the entire year so far. Hunt has been getting a lot more carries than Pacheco has since week 13 when Pacheco returned from his injury. Since that time, Ted, Pacheco has had 59 carries compared to Kareem Hunt, who's had 70 carries. And that is just the regular season there, including the 2 postseason games as well. So it's like, yeah, even through the postseason, seems like they're leaning more on Kareem Hunt here. But yeah, I think Kareem Hunt has gained the favor of the coaching staff. I could see a majority of the carries going in Kareem Hunt's favor. I could see this being a very, ground-heavy game because, Philadelphia boasts a very strong secondary. They have a very good pass rush as well. I think they may be able to limit what Patrick Mahomes can do. Obviously, we say this every year, but somehow Patrick Mahomes finds a way to do it as well. But I could very much see, when they get close, Kareem Hunt will get a handoff, and he'll be able to punch it in for a score.
My only concern about this one, and thank you for throwing in that stat about consecutive rushing touchdowns. I did not realize it was that far, but because you said it was rushing or receiving, right?
Correct. Yes, rushing or receiving.
Let's play your favorite game. Over under. Okay. 5 receptions. 5 receptions since December 8th for Kareem Hunt. 5 receptions since December 8th.
I'm going to say under.
You are correct at 4. In over a month.
Yeah.
4. Mm-hmm. So, that's not rushing or receiving. That's purely rushing. Now, like you said, he seems to be their go-to guy in obvious rushing touchdown situations. So the question is, do they get there? Possibly. I'm more confident in the Eagles getting in that situation. That's more their thing. But I think it's a fair risk. What were the odds on that? Did you have that?
So just a reminder, everybody, all of my game bets are based off of our good friends at Underdog Fantasy. Right. So I think so it is a little bit of a riskier play. I think the multiplier for this one was 1.12 as opposed to your standard 1, and it was below that. Bad. So people do see, obviously Super Bowl things are a little bit different there. So it's I think that's why you have that modifier there. So it's it is quote unquote a riskier pick.
To put that in perspective for people who may not be so familiar with underdogs yet, because you will be after this.
Exactly.
1.2 multiplier. I mean, agree or disagree. I would say like that's probably like, I don't know, plus 300, plus 400, like basically those odds.
Maybe I could see that. Yeah.
It's like a sizable underdog. But yeah, no, I mean, look, there were very few bets regarding this Chiefs offense that I was confident in.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yes, of all of them, like this would definitely break my top 3.
And I do agree with you, like, just based on like you just mentioned, we're just like the offense is not as high scoring or as potent as it once was. But I mean, we kind of had to bring it up at this point, right? We're just like, they do get the benefit of a lot of calls, right? So it's like,
hey, Goodell said that was ridiculous. My client, not my client. I don't want that hate mail. Roger Goodell has said, sorry, Roger, you're fired. Can you fire a client? You're dismissed. What do you do to a client?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Roger Goodell, you're fired.
But, I could see a situation where just like they get the benefit of a call that leads them to march down the field a little bit easier than opposed to just, matriculating just their standard plays and, just passing and rushing, right? So it's like, I can see that happening where they get close enough and then, yeah, they're going to give it to Kareem Hunt and he's going to be able to punch it down the ground.
They'll march right down the field, just like those beautiful, beautiful soldiers in North Korea march just right down the streets. Wouldn't we love to see that, people? Just that happening in our beautiful, beautiful capital. Just marching right down the streets. I know Bill Belichick would love that. All those feet marching just right on down.
But yeah, a little risky, but yeah, I could see it panning off. Like I said, just based off the playoff streak that he's been rushing right now. So it's like, yeah, I see the streak continuing.
Those marching may be a little old for him.
Yeah. Tad, I'm gonna get to my second.
If Snoop Dogg can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that was probably one of the better jokes of his, entire.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
fantastic.
Good. I'm gonna get to the other team here, Tad. I got a bet for the Philadelphia Eagles here. I'm gonna go with AJ Brown over 7.5 targets in this game. So,
so targets, not receptions.
Targets, yes, targets specifically. So not receptions, but over 7.5 targets. So, Tad, I think you remember, obviously, you flashed back to that first round game between the Eagles and the Packers. We saw the Fox broadcast of
me flashing back. That's a good one.
Panning to the sidelines there where AJ Brown was reading a book and everybody was questioning what he was reading. We did later found out that it was Inner Excellence. I think it shot up from, it was Amazon's like 524,000th ranked seller or whatever. It's like shot up all the way to number 1 after that game. And
so he pumped instead of crypto, he pump and dumped an Amazon book.
Hey, I'll take reading over scamming people over a lot of money any day of the week. So it's like, that says something, right? It's like a lot of people benefit that way. But in that game against the Packers, he only had 3 targets. But ever since he busted out Inner Excellence, he found his Inner Excellence. Because in the following game stat, he had 7 targets against the Los Angeles Rams. And then against the Washington Commanders, he had 8 targets. He had 15 targets in the next 2 games. He leads the team right now. He is tied with Dallas Goedert with team lead with 18 targets. So, I mean, this game screams to me that the Chiefs are going to force Jalen Hurts to beat them. Because, I mean, obviously we know about Saquon Barkley, your offensive player of the year. I mean, obviously rushed for 2,000 yards, could have rushed for the single season rushing record. But they didn't do it. I still very much in the boat that he should have gone for it, but that's not my call to make. But I can very much see this Chiefs defense forcing Jalen Hurts to air it out a lot more, force this passing offense to sort of beat the Chiefs in this game. And so it's like, I can see them very much, Jalen Hurts having to air it out more, getting a lot of targets. Like I said, that's why I went with the targets bet as opposed to the receptions bet, because maybe the Chiefs will be able to block things up and they'll be able to get some bat downs, maybe get some good pass rush, but Jalen Hurts will at least be able to throw it in the vicinity of AJ Brown for him to potentially make a grab there. So that's why I like the 7.5 targets. So you also look at the fact that the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, when they played the Kansas City Chiefs just a couple of years ago, he saw 8 targets. He caught 7 of those passes for 96 yards, and he also scored a touchdown. In 6 playoff games, AJ Brown has played for the Eagles. He is averaging a shade under 7 targets per game. So it's just below that mark, which is why I wonder why Underdog set it at 7.5 specifically. So it's like he's averaging that amount with the Eagles specifically in the Super Bowl. I look for him to be the primary option in the passing offense. So 7.5 targets. I think this metric could definitely be beat.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's very little I disagree with. The only thing I had to bring up here is who was, and maybe, longtime listener and honestly probably our most loyal listener, Chauncey Fleece. Chauncey, when you're listening in on this, I assume tomorrow, who the hell did you guys have on AJ Brown? in that NFC Championship. Those stats are great. So, yes, he did have 7 targets. Do you know how many receptions he had?
Did he catch all 7 of them?
No. Almost the opposite. 2.
Oh, yes. I think I remember seeing this. Yeah,
2 catches for 14 yards on set. I need to know what your game plan was there. If it's Kobe Bryant, I'm going to lose my mind. Because we have another good Kobe Bryant in LA. Like, that's just like, it's like George Lucas said. It's poetry. It rhymes.
I have a feeling, like I said, very similar to what I was sort of game planning here for what the Chiefs could do, where it's just like they had a very good pass rush with Jared Verse, who won the defensive rookie of the year, Braden Fisk, Kobe Durant. Obviously, they had a lot of good people. Kobe Turner, that's the name I was looking for. They were able to generate good pressure on Jalen Hurts.
I think I said Kobe Durant too. Kobe Bryant, my bad.
Yes. And so it's like, yeah, those are the people that I think could generate good pass rush there. So it's like maybe Jalen Hurts was able to get the ball out, but not a very effective pass to lead to AJ Brown or DeVonta Smith or whoever making a catch there. So yeah, still got the 7 targets, but yeah, that's probably what led to.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is because that's what surprised me. If that almost repeats, if they're just like, hey, Trent McDuffie, you're on him the entire game. And he gets, 3 catches for 30, 40 yards. But he's targeted much more often than that. I actually really like this bet. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, so that's specifically why with the target bet as opposed to the reception bet, because exactly that case where it's like they may be able to bat some passes down, but he'll still be in his vicinity, so he'll still count as a target. So
we're gonna put AJ Brown in the slot. Well, that's what we have Nick Bolton for, fuckers. I'll give it to him. Like, yes, this is an unexciting matchup, but this truly is like 2 of the best teams playing each other.
Oh yeah, I think so for sure.
Because Lions are better when healthy. That Lions defense was
they got unfortunately took too many injuries. It hurt them when it really mattered at the end. So that's the tough part.
Yeah. That's what we in the league refer to as pulling a 49ers.
Oh, really? At least we've been in the Super Bowl the last 5 years. Teams.
What's that like? Having a quarterback you believe in?
Exactly.
It's
like that meme that you see of the two, like the Mufasa and the Simba, right? It's like, what's the Super Bowl? It's like, I don't know, son. We're Browns fans or whatever, right? Yeah. It's like that.
What's it like seeing your number 1 guy come out of the tunnel and your initial reaction is like, God damn it! Is he limping? The hammy's okay?
All right, Ted, I'm saving my riskiest game pick for the very last one. I'm curious to see what you think about this one.
I'm guessing is involved somehow. Fucking Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's not even in the game, so why would he be?
Well, he's still gonna find a way to throw an interception.
Oh gosh. So Ted, Saquon Barkley under 114.5 rushing yards. This might be my riskiest pick here because obviously we sort of talked about it already. Offensive player of the year. He had 2,000 rushing yards. I mean, he's been so dynamic in this offense. It's like you think this is a metric that he could easily beat. But here's the interesting thing here, Tad. We got a little bit of a pop quiz for you. So since 2010, Tad, there have been only 3 100-yard rushers in the Super Bowl. Do you think you can name any of those 3?
Barry Sanders.
Since 2010, buddy.
Jim Brown.
Okay, clearly you're going for the jokes here.
I want to say John Riggins, but John Riggins actually won one. Steven Jackson.
Yeah, no, and definitely no.
Hey. He made the playoffs once.
He did.
It was as a
Falcon. Do you have any legitimate guesses?
All right, so sorry. Since 2010, 3 done
Since 2010, we've only had 3 100-yard rushers in the Super Bowl.
I have one particular guy I'm not going to name, and I swear to God, if he gets on this list, I hate him. God, how often do they make it though? I feel like you got to go Adrian Peterson.
Peterson never played a Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl. Sorry, I heard
Super Bowl specifically. Super Bowl specifically.
Oh, shit. That makes it a lot harder. Colts Saints was 09, because I remember Pierre Thomas went off on us. Oh God. Who was the guy that tried to stop himself? Ahmad Bradshaw? Did he break up 100?
He did not.
Damn it.
Would it help if I gave you the years that these happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I get the team?
The team may give it away,
okay,
I think,
maybe.
unfortunately.
Right,
so
we'll
the years are 2012 Super Bowl, 2014 Super Bowl, and 2019 Super Bowl.
I was drunk for all of those. All right. So 2012 was when I was a junior in high school.
I think the hotter take that is maybe well, you weren't drunk at. I think that's probably the bigger one.
When was I 12? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. 15. Anyway. All right. So 2012, I was junior in high school. That was okay. 2014, I was a freshman in college at that point. Was that Seattle? That was Seattle, Denver, wasn't it?
Seattle is one of the teams. You had the other team wrong.
Oh, Seattle, New England? Shit,
that is the Super Bowl.
Did Marshawn go over 100?
He did. Marshawn was one of them. He rushed for 102 rushing yards in that game.
Dang, really? I thought it was 104.
Nope, 102. 102.
Come on, you had to see what I was doing there.
I'll save you the trouble here with the other two. So in 2012 is the game that was also played in New Orleans. It was between the Niners and the Ravens. Frank Gore rushed for 110 yards. And then in 2019, it was between the Niners and the Chiefs. We talked about this before. Williams.
That's right, because I knew that's why I was getting him in for some reason. Ramondre Stevenson was like sticking out I knew there was a running back. Both you and I were like, yeah, no, it should have been him. Damn it.
Yeah, he should have won the Super Bowl MVP
because he rushed for
104 rushing yards in that game.
Do you remember what number he wore?
I think it was 29, right?
No. This is one of the reasons I liked him. It was 34, which is my number.
Damian Williams wore 34?
90% sure.
I know Ramondre Stevenson has a 30 number, but I think Damian Williams, when he was with the Chiefs, I swear it was a 20 number.
All right. Well, you give it. Do you already give all three of your bets? Hold on. I'm trying
I have to give the analysis for this pick.
All
I just wanted that was the quick pop quiz there. So it's like, you look at that track history, it's like in the Super Bowl, it's just like, I don't think we see a lot of just, ground and pound. They mix it up a lot. The game plan is a little bit different. It's like, some teams play a little bit, try outside their normal means. And so it's like, I think this is a case where it's like, even though Barkley had such a sensational season, he could eclipse 100 yards, but it's like to get to that 114, to go that extra bit, I don't know if he can meet that metric. And it's specifically to rushing yards, because Underdog does also give you the bet where it's like rushing and receiving yards, but that number was a lot higher. I think it was like 145, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the exact number there. But yeah, this is 114.5 specifically rushing yards. And so you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they have a very stout rushing defense, Tad. They have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this entire season. You have to go all the way back to week 1. And even that, when they played the Baltimore Ravens, it wasn't Derrick Henry. It was Lamar Jackson that rushed for 100 yards against them for 122 yards. But since then, which includes the postseason, they have not allowed a single 100-yard rusher the rest of the way. I know Barkley, like I said, we talked about this, sound like a broken record here, but he won the Offensive Player of the Year award. He's had 5 straight 100-yard games if you go back to the regular season, because this counts the postseason as well. But like I said, I think the Chiefs defense, they're going to come in with a game plan to specifically stop Saquon Barkley and force Jalen Hurts to try to beat them through the air. And so, yeah, with this, like I said, the 114.5 yards is just a little too much for me. I don't think he can get to that far.
Smash P. Ryan, I am so sorry.
P. Ryan, I think, is like
Ryan wore 34. Like Ryan wore 34. Damian Williams, you were close. You just had one number upside down. It was 26.
It was 26. Okay,
26. Yeah. Either way, still should have been MVP. But good bet. I like that. I like this bet a lot because 114. And people forget, because I do get this question sometimes of like, you guys talk bets, but you never talk Super Bowl over under. That's because if you go all the way back to our first year of the show, and maybe I should start repeating this. Historically, if you look, the Super Bowl has hit the under like an insane amount. It's like 60 or 70% of the time it hits the under, is because teams play it so conservatively. They don't want to turn it over. But I know what you're saying. Well, conservative play that would lend itself to the running game, except for the other team knows how to blitz. And the Chiefs defense, while I'm less confident in them, still nothing to bat your eye at. So yeah, that seems like a lot for a sake. Now, if it was 114 total, which is where I thought you were going, that's much tougher.
That's a lot more attainable. But yeah, this is just strictly 114.5 rushing yards.
Straight up rushing. Don't like it.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think it's like I said, there's a good chance he could get to 100 yards. I could see that happening, but to get to the 114, that's the part where it's like, I think that's a little bit too high for me.
Well, and that's why that's another reason I want to stay away from this, because I don't want to be this is why I love, the first bet that I'm about to unveil, but I just want all my bets to be settled by last.
Sure.
I want to be fully engulfed in the game. Like I don't want to I don't want Saquon Barkley being like 110 and me being like kneel it, and like
hiding your fingers the entire
oh my god. Or God help you had the Jalen Hurts over under rushing yards. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Ooh, those quarterback kneels are the worst.
Oh,
1 yard or 2? Was that 1 yard or 2?
And obviously, any sacks you take, that's negative rushing yards as well.
Which
so
is
it's
still bullshit, by the way. Also, interception should not count as an incomplete pass.
That's just the way they do it. That's just the way they do it. Because technically, you didn't complete it to the receiver, so it is an incompletion, right? So let's look at it that way. All right, Ted. So before we get to
that's just the way we do it, huh? Well, that's a slippery slope argument.
All right, Dad, before we get to your prop bets, just really quick to recap on my game picks that I have here. So Kareem Hunt, over a half rushing or receiving touchdown. AJ Brown, over 7.5 targets. And Saquon Barkley, under 114.5 rushing yards. So, Tad, let's get to the fun here. Like I said, props to you. You do a lot of great research on these bets. It's a lot of fun bets, but yeah, you get some good, research behind it as to why you think of the direction that you do. So let's get to some fun prop bets specifically for the Super Bowl. What do you got for me?
Oh, I'm about to throw some shade right off the bat. But anyway,
okay.
What's my favorite Super Bowl bet of them all? Mirror, mirror, a mirror on the wall. The national anthem, baby. So here are the odds for the national anthem this year. Over 120.5 seconds. So basically over under 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. The over is the favorite at -122. The under is the underdog at +100. And by the way, in case you're like, where do I find these odds? Less good sites than underdog. So we will not be naming them here.
Exactly.
We had a meeting with Underdog where we tried to get this on their site, and they said, we'll think about it.
Yeah. Possibly next year.
I believe them. And by the way, my dad's going to be home with the cigarettes in just a couple minutes.
Exactly.
Say it's real, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Anyway, point being is, do you know who is singing the national anthem this year?
I think we discussed it in the previous episodes, John Baptiste.
Okay, thank God. That was a trick because I want to make sure I was pronouncing his last name correctly. But yes, it is John Baptiste. Do you know anything about him?
Well, yeah, like I said, he's won a Emmy for sorry, not an Emmy. He won a Grammy for some sort of one of his albums.
If you won an Emmy for something, that would be even more.
No, sorry, my mistake. I was confused. But no, he won a Grammy for one of his albums, and then he is the band leader for Stephen Colbert's late night show. So
it's funny you shouldn't mention the Stephen Colbert thing because he has sung, as far as I could tell, 2 televised national anthems. So far. One was way back in the 2017 NBA All-Star game.
Okay.
Which was held in what city, Amir?
Jeez, 2017. Was that Charlotte?
I don't know. You think I spent time looking that up? Get out of here.
I thought you had this. Jesus Christ. Now I gotta look it up.
It's called a red herring, my friend. But here's the interesting thing. So, as you pointed out with the whole Colbert thing, he is probably more known for his instruments than his voice, which is very clear when you go back and watch this All-Star National Anthem game that, assuming from your reaction, was in fact in Charlotte.
No, actually it sort of works in with the Super Bowl because it was in New Orleans.
There you go. Was that Derek Jones was in the dunk contest that year? There was some random Pelican that actually did pretty well that year.
It's possible because 2016 was the amazing dunk contest between Aaron Gordon and Zach.
Yeah, I know. I remember because they try and follow that up, and I was like, "Who's this Derek Jones guy?" But that might have been him with the Heat. But
it's possible, yeah.
Anyway, point being is, so you interrupted my train of thought. Okay, so at this NBA All-Star game that was in New Orleans, we have no idea who was dunking at the time, but he had his piano with him, and he hit about 201, 202, roughly where it depends where you stop. Now. He also performed the national anthem at the U.S. Open, the tennis tournament up in New York. Because I saw a U.S. Open. I was like, they do the national anthem at golf, tournaments. I was like, I did not know that.
Pretty sure they do. I don't see why not.
I also did not know that. But yeah, so the tennis thing made much more sense once I found the video.
Yes.
Now here's the interesting thing. And keep in mind, the over-under is at 120 seconds.
Okay.
So 2 minutes.
Okay.
Without the piano, he hit 140. And barely.
Wow.
Okay. And to put that in perspective, Chris Stapleton last year set the record for the shortest national. Oh my God, he destroyed me on this one. But he set the record for the shortest national anthem at 1 minute, 34 seconds. So John Baptiste, without a piano, could be in one of the all-time unders. However, so this is the thing. It's a 50-50 bet, right? Will he have the piano? Will he not have the piano? My bet is he's going to have the piano. It's the Super Bowl. They let him go all out.
So, yeah.
I think he's going to have the piano. I think he's going to try belt it. And by the way, he is a shit singer. He's a terrible singer, but you know the good thing about terrible singers? They love the sound of their own voice. I have seen enough American Idol to know that. So he will try and carry on those tones, and I'm telling you, it's going to go viral on Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. But point being is, I think the over at minus 120 is the safest bet, assuming he has the piano. If, it's, ladies and gentlemen, John Baptiste with the national anthem, he's just sitting there with a mic, yeah, we're fucked.
I think Reba McEntire sang the national anthem last year.
Fall from grace there, Jesus.
Why?
Am I thinking the other Reba? Are they the same Reba?
Maybe? I don't
know. Moving on, anyway.
I was like, yeah, definitely. Let's move on.
That's a political minefield that we probably there's a fake. If I'm thinking of the right lady, there's a fake severed head involved, and yeah, we just don't want to touch that.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Unless you're doing that scene from Tropic Thunder. Oh, look at me, guys! It's corn syrup.
No, definitely not doing that. All right, what else you got for us, Ted?
Alrighty, second one, and this is my favorite just because it's total crapshoot. However, of all the years I've actually done my research on this is the most confident I've been in one of two options. Okay. And that is the Gatorade dump. What color Gatorade will be spilled on the winning head coach? Now, here are the odds. We got purple at plus 210.
Okay.
Now, this is key. Remember this. Yellow/green. So yellow or green count for the same thing.
Okay.
/green, very important. Okay. Plus 220.
Okay.
Orange at plus 500.
Okay.
Blue at plus 600.
Got it.
Red at plus 700.
Okay.
And clear at 1,000.
Got it. Okay.
Now, let me ask you this before we go team specific. In the last decade, what do you think has been the most popular color dumped?
Blue.
You are correct. Blue has been the most popular dumped. It's been the last 4 out of the last 10 years. Blue has been chosen. Now, here's the interesting thing. Who are the two teams competing this year?
That'd be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, here's a weird thing. The Chiefs have affected the favors or the odds in terms of orange for this reason. Their first Super Bowl ever that they won, not the first of the three-peat, but the first Super Bowl they ever won, they dumped orange Gatorade.
Yep, in 2019.
So people think, but again, this logic doesn't really tie in for me. People seem to think that they want to tie the bow on the three-peat by reusing the orange Gatorade they started with. But that's not the start of the three-peat. You could argue it's the start of the dynasty. That's a different thing. But get this, since the start of the dynasty or the three-peat, the last 2 years, both back-to-back years, the Chiefs have poured purple. Do you know the last time that happened?
The year before, I think it was blue twice, right?
Never.
Okay.
Never. It's always been on, off, on, off. Usually it's blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow.
Ah, okay.
Fun fact, by the way, and this will not be hard to guess. There was 1 year where there was no Gatorade dump. Who was that coach?
Yeah, see, I know this because I listened to last year's episode. It was Bill Belichick.
Yeah, fuck him. But anyway.
There's no odds for no Gatorade?
There are not. Clear is the furthest underdog with plus 1,000.
Okay.
But so I think if you think the Chiefs are going to win, you go purple or orange, right? I think orange is a riskier one, but I think if they go purple, I'm pretty, what's the word? I am a sentimental guy, but superstitious. There we go. I'm a very superstitious guy. So if I won my last 2 Super Bowls off purple Gatorade, bitch, I'm bringing the purple Gatorade back to that sideline. So I think if you think the Chiefs are going to win, go purple. If you think the Eagles are going to win, I love this. And this does go show how much research I do because this is ridiculous. Go yellow or green, which was plus 200. And I will tell you why. 2 reasons. 1, every time the Eagles have won either a title game, including 2 weeks ago against Washington, or a Super Bowl, they had dumped yellow or green Gatorade. That was explained 2 years ago when on a podcast, Lane Johnson, the then Eagles tackle, because I believe he's retired by now, right?
Lane Johnson still playing.
Who's I'm thinking of Kelsey. Well, soon to be retired Lane Johnson, soon to be Hall of Famer Lane Johnson. Because God damn. But anyway, he admitted that for some reason the Eagles only allow yellow Gatorade on the sideline. Now, granted,
okay,
that was 2 years ago. However, there's been no major overhaul of the Eagles franchise or organization. So I think it's safe to assume, considering once again that Gatorade dumped 2 weeks ago was yellow. I think that policy still stands. So if you think the Eagles are going to win, which I do, I think yellow is the safest bet.
Interesting. I do like that little bit of a nugget there. The only thing I'm very curious about, Tad, is that if the Chiefs win, do you think they go with let's cinch the 3P by throwing red because the Chiefs are reds? Was that going to be something interesting there?
I thought about that, but apparently
the
Chiefs have never once been spotted under the Andy Reid era with red Gatorade, not just in the Super Bowl, with any of their playoff, any of the we made the playoff, any of the Gatorade dumping decisions, never once been spotted with red.
Okay.
So it seemed, because I think that's where fans' minds go of team color. More often than not, that actually it has zero correlation. It all depends, because you got to remember, they don't give a shit what color it is. It's about the flavor. It's about personal taste.
Sure.
So
that makes sense.
You got to do your research. And by the way, I support the Eagles. Yellow, the most neutral of all Gatorades.
Well, that's the original flavor too, right? So
I have no idea. I assumed blue was. Blue Gators.
It was that electric blue, yellow, green, or whatever, right?
I don't know why I did baby gator there.
Yeah, I was like, what?
What am I doing? Gator? My camera.
I don't even know what this was. It's like a trash compactor.
Baby gator. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Oh, well, you don't like Florida anyway, so.
I don't know. I don't like Florida. I won't be taken out by a hurricane, tornado.
Hence why your hate for Anthony Richardson all comes full circle with you, doesn't it?
My hate for Anthony Richardson comes because he throws to the other team. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I ran out of breath after that yell. I need to take a play off. Excuse me for 30 fucking seconds.
Yeah, still one of the wildest things I've ever seen a quarterback do. Yeah, that's just amazing.
People
stuff.
Shit all over Cam Ward for a month, but he only got 3 days of bad pub.
All right, Dad, let's get to your final prop bet you have for the game here. What do you got for us?
Okay, this one was tough.
Okay.
But right. I've done extensive research on this.
Okay.
A worrisome amount, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But I'm confident in this one. And because I was really struggling, I knew I wanted to do National Anthem. I knew I wanted to do Gatorade. I was like, what's
your standards? Yep.
Fun little third one to do. Do you want to guess what the odds are for over under Taylor Swift is shown on TV?
So this is interesting because we've talked about this in last year's episode too.
We did the
same exact bets. Yes,
and I will tell you this: the numbers are very different this year.
I'm pretty sure they are. Because
my bet is they got butchered on that because it was 2 last year, which was
100%. Because the bet that you came with on the podcast specifically, you said over under 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. Oh, that was easy.
This is so easy.
Oh, God.
And then you were
I hit 3 before half.
Yeah. So it's that's the biggest thing. You were like, I think it's actually going to be over. You're like, I think it's going to be over 7. You're predicting 8. I was like, I could very much see it being around 7. But you know what the actual number was last year?
I'm going to guess 5 or 6. No, wait. 12. I think I have it.
12. They showed Taylor Swift 12 times on the Super Bowl broadcast last week.
Oh, no, I have last week. But anyway, sorry.
So they showed Taylor Swift on the broadcast last year 12 times. So it shattered the 3.5 or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the numbers reflect what happened with last year, right?
Do you have the amount of seconds those 12 appearances were, though? Because I do have that.
55 seconds.
I saw 54, but you know, tomato.
But close to a minute. Close to
a minute. So actually, that's fair. So the whole thing goes down to, okay, how often will she be shown on camera, which is, of course, the bet itself, but also how long does she actually stay on camera when she's shown? Because this fascinated me. So, well, first off, the over-under...
Just to clarify, is your bet based on number of appearances or based on number of time?
I'll break it down.
Okay.
Give me a second. So the over-under right now is set at 6.5.
6.5 appearances.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be the over. Actually, sorry, because I did flip-flop a bit.
Okay.
After a little while, because it was, me and math, the transition. Okay, she spent 54 seconds here. How many appearances is that? And trust me, I had to do all that. Sure. So I'm pretty sure I'm right here. My numbers may be slightly off. I'm taking the under because according to the New York Times, the reality is Miss Swift, and this is a quote, is typically being on screen for less than 25 seconds over the course of broadcasts that run longer than 3 hours. So 25 seconds is her average. Now, I looked up at the last Super Bowl, what she almost got was double that, which we were talking about, 54, 55 seconds. But you look at what she did last week. And last week's game was the highest rated game of the weekend. She was only shown 3 times for a total of 14 seconds. So I think everyone's like,
also it's because the game was a lot closer too. Like, do you think that played a factor? Like, I don't know.
I agree, but do you think Sunday's going to be a blowout?
No, you can make a good point.
So here's my one qualifier is, and this is like the, the monkey in my, the monkey in my plans, the monkey in the wrench. What's the saying? Wrench in my plans?
The wrench in your plans, monkey
on my back. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Steve Young. But anyway, point being is how
I'm about to say that's specifically why I know because there's a clip of literally a lineman, Steve Young's like, take the monkey on my back, and he like takes it off, and it's like the ball. It's like, yeah.
Shout out to America's game. Otherwise, I never would have known that happened. Point being is, if Kelsey has a big game, she's gonna hit that over easy.
Yeah.
So I think Kelsey's going to catch like a touchdown or so. But again, this kind of goes to my general point of why I did so much research in this time of like people get annoyed when she's shown up there. But what happens when people get, she's up there again. Oh my God, I'm so sick of her. By the time you turn your head, she's gone.
Sure.
And you don't really like process the fact that, yeah, you're sick of seeing her. She's only there for, 3 to 5 seconds. So, 60 time, or 6, like 6 appearances, 3 seconds. It's 18 seconds. It is risky, but I 6.5 is a lot of time to show her. So I think they're going to hit that under, especially because I think the Chiefs are going to lose and no one wants to see a sad Taylor Swift. They only want to see like jumping up and down happy Taylor Swift. Also, maybe you can explain this to me. A very popular team, Taylor Swift prop bet is, will she wear, I think it was Zach Ertz's customized jersey or like his wife's customized jersey? What is going on there?
Zach Ertz is customized?
Like, no, it's his wife apparently makes these like customized.
No, not Zach Ertz. It's Kyle Juszczyk, his wife.
That was it. Thank you. Yes.
No, that's very possible. That is very possible because Kristen Juszczyk has made a lot of gear. Like I remember when the Niners and Lions played last year, she made a couple things for like some of the Lions fans, like the celebrities or whatever. And George's wife Claire, like she wears stuff like with Kittle's jersey and stuff like that. So she's also made a deal with the NFL now. That's like she's going to be making like line like on Fanatics or probably whatever it is. But it's like so it's like
wait,
very possible.
She made some for the other team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like it. Good for her.
And I'm pretty sure she's going to do all 32 now. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God. She's about to make bank. I'm sure that contract is at least $1 million.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, Jesus. But anyway, yes, that was another very popular Taylor Swift one. God, this one's easy money. That's why I left this. But the odds are very good because it's like minus like 700 for yes. Is will she be shown after Travis Kelce catches, if Travis Kelce catches a touchdown, will Taylor Swift be shown after? And it was like minus 700 for yes. So I stay away from that one. But
that's an easy one,
if you're the type of psycho that puts that, if you're listen to me, if you're the guy that won like $10 million off the Seattle Denver safety bet, like you're that kind of crazy fucker, that's not a bad one to make. Just like throw like $10 million on there, you'll make an easy like 7 mil.
Well, also the thing is like if you parlay it, so it's like if that's one of your picks for a parlay, that's like that could possibly win you some money, right? So there's a freebie. It's like now maybe take some risk somewhere else. It's like that's where you sort of increase your odds or something like that, or lower your odds a bit, right? So it's like that's something to get you too, right? But it's like for me, I think it's like when you see that number of 12 last year, and it's like I remember because like I said, I listened to our episode from last year to figure out notes for what we were going to do this year, and it's like I was saying that's like I don't think they'll show her that much. I felt like the 7 was too much. But you were very much like in the boat of like, they'll show her right before the halftime show. They'll show her every time Kelsey makes a catch, possibly. Every time there's a touchdown, it could be a very much situation there. It's like every time there's a positive play, there's a good chance they'll show her. So like I said, that 12 number, even 6.5 for me, it's like I'm still going to go with the over just based on what we saw last year. It's like, especially with the 3-peat, just all the extra storylines, just like everything like that. Mama Kelsey obviously is going to be sweet with her. So it's like, naturally, if they show Kelsey's mom, they'll show Taylor Swift right beside her. It's like your point that you brought up. It's like they show Brittany Mahomes. I know Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift sort of have.
No, that does count. No, oh shit. I did not take that into account.
So it's like they have a little bit of friction there too. So it's like maybe they won't show that much. But like I said, purely because they'll show Mama Kelsey with Taylor Swift, it's like that's going to increase the number. So it's like I'd still going at the over.
You know what? I think this is show history. You changed my mind. Take the over. I did not account for the family connection because
it was your reasoning last year.
No, your reasoning
last year.
Past Tad, you goddamn genius.
Past Tad changed future.
Good job, Past Tad. You with your notes taken before 6 hours. Good job, buddy. Looking out.
Good job, Past Tad. Good job, Past Tad.
You're the real MVP. Great argument.
Oh my god.
Take the over.
Yeah. No, I swear to God, that was your exact argument because I was like,
that's
I don't know if you'll get to 7.5, but you're like, nope, this is why.
And it's like, there's gonna like Paul Rudd's gonna be in there or something, and they're gonna like shoot up to him too. Like, who else is this? Eric Stone Street, I guess, is second.
Eric Stone Street's a big Chiefs fan. There's that the woman on SNL, like the big name on SNL, she's a Chiefs fan, so it's like she might be up there too. I don't know.
I'm below the age of 50. I don't watch SNL.
So yeah. So
anywho, all right. Well, I got one more bet for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Do you think it's going to be odds? Do you think it's going to be heads or tails?
It's going to be odd that you
odd or even. It's going to be odd or even.
Oh Lord.
1 or 4, baby. You got to pick.
What was the bet? Let me hear it again.
Do you think it's going to be heads or tails?
The coin flip? I'm going to go with tails.
Okay. Do you know the odds of you getting that right?
50-50.
You are incorrect, sir. According, this goes to show how much research I do. According to the the Scientific American Journal, in a study, they found that when you flip a coin, because of its off-center weight, it actually rotates at an unfair, trajectory or speed or velocity. So actually, there's a 51% chance when you flip a coin that it's going to land on the side that is facing up because of the weight distribution. So, fun fact for you. Coin flips, not 50-50. It's 51-49.
So it's dependent on which side
is facing up, I guess, because
official coin flip or whatever, like puts it on his thumb or whatever. It's like whatever is facing up, that is the favored for 51%. Exactly, the one on the bottom is 49%.
Now, here's the interesting thing. In the last 10 years, it's been tails 6 out of 10 times.
Okay.
Almost 50-50. Who would have guessed? And then overall, what do you think's won the most out of all the Super Bowls so far? Out of all 58 so far?
Out of just every Super Bowl that has happened.
Every single one.
Heads?
You are incorrect. Tails never fails, my friend. It's been tails 52% of the time.
52% of the time.
52% tails slightly edges it out. Again, who would have guessed? So here's why I'm going to go with tails. The Chiefs have gone tails and won 2 out of their 3 Super Bowls picking tails. So basically, the one Super Bowl they lost, they won that toss, but they won it on heads. The last 2 Super Bowls they won also won the toss, but they won it on tails. So you know what? I think the three-peat continues, at least with the coin cost. Tails never fails, baby.
The coin cost?
Fuck. I was doing so well. I was on a roll. Damn it.
The coin cost. Oh my Lord, that was good. I love that.
Where's Cam? It's not your fault, but he's mean as shit.
Oh gosh. Well, all right, so that will close out our bets for the episode. But yeah, Tab, before we close out the entire episode, let's definitely discuss the actual game itself. So, I mean, looking to this game, last time these two teams played, I brought this up a little earlier, they played 3 years ago in Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs came out with the victory in that game, winning 38-35.
Bullshit PI call, by the way.
Patrick Mahomes played his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. He went 21 for 27. Threw for 182 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns with no interceptions. He also had 6 rushes for 44 rushing yards. Both the Chiefs and the Eagles are entering the Super Bowl both as number 1 seeds. They both finished as 14-3 records on the season. In the playoffs this year, Tad, Kansas City has a point differential of +12. Philadelphia has a point differential of +50. Like, they've been absolutely blowing out teams on their side. The Chiefs have been cutting it a lot closer, relying a lot on that defense. Currently on the spread, Tab, based on what I've seen, the spread is favored in the Chiefs' favor at -1 for Kansas City. Over-under is set at 48. So overall, what do you think about that spread? What do you think about the over-under? What do you think about the game itself? And what is your score prediction? And we know that you're picking the Eagles, but yeah, what is your score prediction? How things are going?
This is the benefit, I guess, even though I know the team doesn't really care, but the grace you're given as, returning 2-time champs of like the Chiefs really shouldn't be the favorites here. Cause like you said, like that point differential is insane of like the Eagles are clearly the hotter, the better. I know the DeVonta Smith thing is kind of making headlines. I don't think there's anything big there. He was, without injury designation today. So really, I think that like if this was, Chiefs Eagles round 1, Eagles would be point favorites or 2-point favorites. I think it's only because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So I like the Eagles being that spread. I mean, I said this before, 48 seems just way too high. I cannot see. I mean, this Chiefs.
Well,
defense,
Tad, you look at the last time they played, the final score was 38-35. So, I mean, we got into the 73-point mark.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Isn't a lot of that scoring coming from the second half? And overtime. You can't forget overtime contributed massively.
That game did go to overtime.
I'm thinking the Niners Chiefs.
Chiefs last year.
I'm thinking Niners Chiefs. My bad. That's why the Chiefs need to stop making the damn Super Bowl. It's getting too hard to keep you all together. But no, I think point being is I think it will be a close game. I would take the under. I would take the Eagles +1. And ultimately, I'm going to take the Eagles 24-17.
And who's your Super Bowl MVP?
Saquon.
Okay. As much as it hurts me to say it, Tad, I mean, it's just like it's been happening this entire season. It's been happening the last couple of years. It's just like the Chiefs find a way. As much as they want the Eagles to win this game, and like,
look, I don't really hate the Chiefs, but like, I mean this in the most derogatory way possible. You guys are cockroaches. I'm just like, I killed you 3 weeks ago. What are you doing climbing out of you're going to make it out of the toilet, aren't you? And it's just like climbs right out of there as if nothing happened. You're like, God, I hate you.
Like you set it on fire. It's like it found a way to
survive. Like, you got the Reid with the lighter, and you're just like,
It's like I just don't know. They find a way. Like I said, you could speak about the controversy and the conspiracy theories about them getting the calls. It's like a lot of people did.
Roger Goodell said that's not real. All hail Commander Goodell.
A lot of people have done the math. That's like they've been in favor of getting more penalty yardage going for them as opposed to against them. So just like, there's a lot of things you can say about that. But just like whatever it is, it's like they are finding a way on the right side of all of these things. It's like they find a way to always come away with a victory, right? So just like for me, as much as I want to say they will lose the game and the Eagles will sort of deny that three-peat, it's just like I said, there's going to be something that's going to unfortunately happen. Like you sort of brought up with that previous Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's like there's that pass interference that maybe shouldn't have been called, but
I was there in person. That should not have been called.
Exactly. So it's like I could see something like that happening again. We could get some, unfortunate holding calls that don't get called, and the Eagles are getting good pass rush, but it doesn't happen. Sort of thing. It's like I can see that happening. So I can see a very close game. It just unfortunately it will just work in favor of Kansas City, and they will get a three-peat. So I could see this game going very similar to last year's Super Bowl. Final score of that game was 28-25. So I could see this one going 24-21 in favor of the Chiefs in this one. And unfortunately, he's going to do enough. It's Patrick Mahomes, 4th Super Bowl MVP.
I don't hate that because that will further strengthen. Like, that would be the funniest thing in the world as a very big Tom Brady is overrated guy. If he's unseated, like he only got like 2 or 3 years as the GOAT before Mahomes comes out. It's like, see ya.
Yeah, exactly. And he has still so many years left to go, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my God. You just know he's going to win it with like the fucking Raiders or some random shit in like 2035 or something like that. It's going to be like a Peyton Manning Broncos thing.
What's going to happen is like whenever Patrick Mahomes retires, is he's going to pull like what Belichick did at the NFL Honors, where he rolled up with all 8 Super Bowl rings on his fingers. Did you see that? I was like, man, that is flexing.
Letting the girlfriend wear one was the ultimate flex. I'm like, I have so many, I can't even wear them all.
It's like Mahomes is going to do something like he's going to build an infinity gauntlet of all the Super Bowl.
I would that he has.
I can see that happening. But just like, I think it's going to unfortunately side in favor of the Chiefs. They're going to find a way to get it done. Unfortunately, again, they'll get the three-peat. Like I said, Super Bowl MVP will be Patrick Mahomes for the 4th time.
Do you think the Chiefs are like the little green aliens in Toy Story? Like, it's like, oh my God, 0 seconds on the clock. We're down by 2. We just lost. Oh, there's a flag. And they're just like, instead of like, oh, that claw. It's like all the Chiefs looking up like, oh, Goodell.
Claw's our leader. He will choose who will go and who will stay. So this is exactly what's happening. It's like the Claw, the Goodell, the refs or whatever. They will choose who will go to say, nope, it's completely So Yeah.
Why are you not panicking? The claw.
I know. So as much as I'm pulling for the Eagles and I really want them to win, like I said, it's just like history has told us that just unfortunately, like you said, the Conquerors theory is very much in play here. We're just like, you think you got them down, but they somehow slip away. They somehow find a way. So it's like, yeah, that's the way I see it going. But
also,
yeah,
one last real quick game bet that we tease. Jalen Hurts over half a rushing touchdown. It's a 1.5 multiplier.
Interesting. That could very much pull
you
through.
Just know that tush push is going to happen.
It'll happen for sure.
And it's worth looking back on this. In 4 of the last 6 games the Eagles have played, like you did, including the postseason and regular season, he's scored a rushing touchdown.
There you go.
4 out of the last 6, including, I did not realize because I stopped paying attention to this game, he scored 3 against the Commanders.
He did.
My God. He's good for 1.
And Hurts scored 3 in that game. Yeah, that's how dominant they were against the Commanders.
That game was so bad.
But yeah, we should be in for a good game. I think me and Tad are both in the boat. Should be a competitive game. Should be highly contested. Should be a good halftime show. I'm very excited about the
going to be live streaming everything, including the halftime show. You're going to be there, right?
I wish.
No, God, no, we're not live streaming that. Are you kidding me? I have trailers to watch, dip to eat. I'm getting fat.
Although, Tad, next year the Super Bowl is going to be in Levi's Stadium, so that is one that we could possibly be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to do some company event there.
Oh, we should. We definitely should. Because then the year after, it's going to be at SoFi Stadium. So, yeah, there's possibly a possibility there of LAFB.
Yeah, well, you know what? Last time I invited you to SoFi Stadium, all I heard was, Tad, no one wants to see TCU. Tad, TCU is going to get killed by Georgia. Tad, no one cares about Georgia TCU. So, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm kidding. I love you. Can I still come?
Yeah, Georgia did hammer TCU in that game.
All right.
And outside of you, yeah, nobody else cares about TCU. So
one last question on the tailgate. Can I bring Cap?
Oh, 100%. Cap is only invited. You're the +1 to Cap. That's what it is.
He's already wearing a tuxedo.
Exactly. All right, guys. So that'll close out today's episode. We're very excited for the Super Bowl. If you have Super Bowl talk before the game occurs, that is where you can interact with us on our social media handles. You see the ticker coming right down below. You got us on Twitter. You got me on the site 23, Tad and Ted side and 4. Got the show handle at the Side Guys, and of course on Instagram at the Side Guys as well. Hit us up with all of your Super Bowl thoughts and your questions and your opinions. But outside the Super Bowl, this is where we're going to go heavy onto draft stuff, guys, in the offseason. So right after the Super Bowl's over, we're going diving into all of our prospect rankings and, playing the GM and looking at teams with multiple first-round picks and just all these strategies and going heavy onto the draft stuff. The combine is happening in just a matter of a couple of weeks. So it's like all that stuff we'll be covering with all of our draft coverage on our podcast. So make sure you subscribe where you listen to your podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well so you're always up to date with everything that's happening with our podcast. And guys, we sort of talked about it already, but LAFB Network, without them, there would be no us. So yeah, we appreciate everything that they're doing for us. Make sure you're supporting them because they're giving you a lot of great content when it comes to the Rams and the Chargers at the NFL level and the Bruins and the Trojans at the college football level. But Tad, no longer are they doing just football. They got you covered when it comes to, they have a lot of information on that Luka trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. They got you covered with Lakers and Clippers coverage at the NBA level. And, of course, when the MLB season starts in just about a month and a half, they got your Angels and Dodgers coverage as well. So, they got you covered on all LA sports there pretty soon. I'm pretty sure they'll get LA Kings hockey coverage pretty soon as well. But, guys, make sure you're supporting them. Lots of great content coming from a lot of great content producers over at LAFB Network. But to everybody who's already watching our videos on YouTube, who's listening to our podcast, who's interacting with us on social media, just anything and everything that you're doing to support the podcast, we really cannot thank you enough.
It's not just basketball stuff. It's not just baseball stuff. We are also continuing with our football, coverage throughout the offseason. Like Amir said, we are, of course, focusing on the draft stuff. We will also be doing free agency stuff. And along the way, we will talk about how this affects USC draft prospects and USC alums as well. Don't forget, once they're in the NFL, we're still following them. So we will be following that with the
Will Woody Marks prove Tad wrong? That's the very curious thing. I'm very
No, he won't. He won't because he can't.
Okay.
Because he's Charles Barkley terrible.
Wow. All right.
So when do you want me to see me get my comeuppance? We will be on the Salute to Troy podcast in definitely the next few weeks or so to discuss the USC draft prospects, the NFL free agency, where some USC alum could end up. So be sure to check that out. And also check out LA Podfidential. They cover, I think the Oscars are coming up in a week or so, if not mistaken.
I think it's beginning of March, somewhere around there, but yeah.
It's coming up soon. And who knows the exact day, and that's our good friend Chauncey Talese the host over LA Podfidential.
Happy belated birthday to our good friend Chauncey Talese. Look at it before you.
I was leading up to that, you son of a bitch. You always have to hijack a happy birthday, Chauncey, whatever. Check out his podcast. He's good. Unlike a murder.
He is.
Anyway. But if you guys want live reactions from Murr or myself during the Super Bowl, no, we will not be live streaming. No, we will not be doing a live chat or anything like that. But I can almost promise, the game's long enough where if you send one of us a message on Instagram, Twitter, can't really guarantee YouTube. It's kind of hard to get push notifications for that, maybe. But YouTube and Twitter and Instagram are your best two outlets. If you want some live reactions from us regarding crazy plays in the Super Bowl, I can almost guarantee you one or both of us will respond. So be sure to keep us in mind as you're watching the Super Bowl. Hey, have some good food, have some good drinks. Please be responsible with everything. And as always, everyone, please stay safe.